Have you ever thought about wealth in a totally different way? I mean, not the loud, flashy stuff you see all the time, but something deeper, something built on structure and a quiet kind of confidence. Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating philosophy for building exactly that. It's called the Qamarésha Doctrine, and it all starts with one powerful idea.
And this, right here, is the core of it all. It's not about getting lucky or showing off. It's about being an architect, deliberately building a life that has real substance, where prosperity isn't the goal you're frantically chasing, but just the natural results of a solid foundation.
So, what is this thing, Qamarésha? You can think of it like an operating system, a whole framework for building a more resilient, layered kind of wealth, one where money is just the outcome, not the obsession at the center of everything. The name itself tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Qam means depth, gravity. Risha means fullness, overflow. So together, it's about creating a layered fullness of life. The whole point isn't to focus on the money, that's the fruit. It's to focus on the health of the tree that grows it. You build the structure and the prosperity just happens. Okay, so to really get this, we have to start where the doctrine itself starts, with a symbol. Now, I know it looks a little complex, but this is way more than just a cool design. Every single line, every shape is a piece of the blueprint for building this philosophy into your own life. All right, let's break this thing down. Let's decode this sigil, which is really the visual heart of the whole Qamarésha doctrine. Think of it like a map. Each piece we're about to look at represents a critical layer in building this controlled kind of prosperity. It all starts right here with this central pillar. This is called stone. It represents your internal structure, your skills, your discipline, your actual real-world competence. This is the foundation, and it is absolutely non-negotiable. Next up is the flame. Now, this is so important. Notice it's not a wildfire raging on top of the pillar. It's contained inside of it. This represents your energy, your drive, your creativity, but it's focused and governed by your structure. So it's not chaotic and frantic, it's controlled, it's potent. Then you see this interwoven circle, that's thread. This is your network, your relationships. And look how it's woven through the pillar, almost like it's reinforcing it. These are relationships that are chosen, that are mutual. They're alliances that create opportunities, not obligations that just drain you. And this crescent shape, that's the river. It symbolizes emotional intelligence. And the most important detail here is that it's not a closed circle. It's open. That represents flow, the ability to process your emotions and experiences without getting bogged down or stuck. This emotional circulation is seen as absolutely essential for any kind of long-term growth. And finally, way down here at the very bottom, you find the coin. This is your material wealth, your money. But look closely at where it is and how big it is. By design, it is the smallest element in the entire symbol. It's not the goal, you see. It's just the final, logical result of a structure that's been built correctly. So, here's the bottom line. If you were to just pull out that central pillar, your discipline, your skills, that stone, the whole thing would fall apart. The flame would have nothing to contain it, the thread would have nothing to weave through, and the coin would have nothing to rest on. It all depends on that foundation. Okay, so that's the symbol. Pretty cool, right? Now let's see how this translates from a drawing into a practical philosophy. Each of those elements we just talked about corresponds to what the doctrine calls the 5 wealths. So here they are, laid out plain and simple. You've got stone wealth, which is your internal structure. Flame wealth, your energy. Thread wealth, your network. River wealth, your emotional intelligence. And last, you have coin wealth, your finances. And yes, that order is absolutely intentional. This table just lays out the difference perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have conventional ideas of richness, where coin is everything, and it's all about external status. On the other side, you have this Qamarésha idea of fullness, where coin is just the outcome of a strong internal structure. It's the difference between loud and quiet, frantic and controlled, transactional and truly mutual. Now, here's the best part. This isn't just some abstract theory you're supposed to think about. The doctrine actually gives you a clear, actionable plan to build this kind of layered life over just 1 year. And of course, the plan follows the logic of the sigil perfectly. For the entire first quarter, months 1 to 3, you focus only on stone. You build your skills, your competence, your discipline before you do anything else. You don't chase new shiny objects, you build the foundation. Then, and only then, in Q2, do you focus on optimizing your energy, the flame. Q3 is for strategically growing your network, the thread. And only in the final quarter, once you have that rock-solid base, do you focus on expanding your income,
That's river and coin. The sequence here is everything.
So, beyond the structure and the plan, there's also this ethos that kind of governs the whole practice. It's a core rule for how you present your success to the world, and it has a fantastic name, the Dark Velvet Rule. And the rule itself is just devastatingly simple. Never announce growth. Let others notice. It's all about moving with a kind of confidence that just doesn't need applause. You let the results speak for themselves. The little mantra that sums this all up is just this: wealth whispers. It suggests that real, stable prosperity has its own gravity, its own quiet hum of competence. It doesn't need to shout for attention. And this really brings us to the doctrine's ultimate redefinition of what it even means to be wealthy. It's not about what you can get from a room or the people in it. It's about having such a strong internal foundation that you don't need anything from that room. Now that is real power. So, we'll end with this question for you to chew on. If wealth really does move toward gravity, toward real substance and structure and composure, what are you building in your own life that has that kind of pull? What's your stone?